Planet Dolan.
From chewing on their hair to comparing them to the family pet, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts more of the best true stories from our subreddit about the most awkward ways we have tried to flirt. My name is, well, I don't really need an introduction now, do I? My name is Nixium, and today, I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Gingerballs3. One time, Tolop's class went on a field trip to the snow. They had to take a hellish 12-hour bus ride, but it wasn't all bad because Tolop got to sit across from the hottest girl in school. They talked the whole way and, well, they really hit it off. Tolop really wanted to make her laugh, so he waited for her to take a sip from her drink bottle. While she was drinking, he reached across and squeezed her bottle, making water explode all over her face and clothes. But his crush didn't find this funny. Instead, she got really mad. Tolop apologized, but she refused to talk to him for the rest of the trip. He definitely left an impression on her, just not the kind he was hoping for. Number 9 was submitted by Home Alone 188. Before he met the love of his life, Dolan had a bit of a crush on a girl in his class. He had no problems talking to her, but he couldn't figure out how to tell her how he felt. One day, he decided to pay her a nice compliment. He went up to her desk, raised his eyebrows all seductively, and said,
Hey, baby, you look like my cat?
Now, he had meant to tell her that she was pretty, but he was so nervous, the wrong words came out. She looked horrified, and that's when Dolan remembered he always telling her how gross and smelly his cat was. Dolan was definitely in the doghouse after that. It turns out, guys, that girls just don't like being compared to mangy household pets. Who would have thought? Number 8 was submitted by Velvet Knot. For years, Pandora had a huge crush on a guy in her class. She was always daydreaming about him and drawing little pictures of him in her notebook. Yeah, cute. One day she decided she really wanted to know what it felt like to hold his hand, so she challenged him to a thumb war. In the beginning, they were laughing and having fun, but Pandora took it too far by making loud kissing noises whenever their thumbs touched. Her crush laughed at first, but Pandora kept doing it until he became really uncomfortable. After that stunt, she never got to try kissing his actual lips. Poor Pandora. Number 7 was submitted by Panda Slob. In 6th grade, Civil Spider was in love with one of the most popular girls in school. Even though he was a huge nerd with no idea on how to talk to girls, he decided one day to let her know how he felt. After a lot of thinking, he came up with the most epic romantic gesture he could think of, using the dictionary. He spent 2 days going through the entire dictionary finding words like beautiful and amazing. He highlighted about 20 words and left bookmarks on the appropriate pages. Then, at the end of class, he left the dictionary on her desk with a note that said, "This is what I think of you." His crush took the dictionary home and, well, she probably had a big laugh about it with her friends. She never responded or even mentioned it to Civil Spider, which totally broke his heart. He now realizes how awkward he was at flirting. Number 6 was submitted by Yellow Source. Zaragamba is a clumsy guy. One time he was talking to his crush when he noticed some hair was in her face. He decided to be a gentleman and brush it out of the way with his finger, but he was so nervous he accidentally stabbed her in the eye. She screamed and pulled away, so Zaragamba reached his arm out to comfort her. But while he was doing this, he accidentally elbowed her best friend in the face. Definitely not his smoothest moment. He's now trying less violent ways of showing his affection. Number 5 was submitted by Conveniently So. When Captain was in 5th grade, he used to eat lunch with a nerdy girl from his class. Every day they would talk shit together and make fun of the celebrities in their magazines. Captain developed a huge crush on her and decided to show his affection by gently chewing on her hair. Glorious. You get him, Tiger. The girl didn't say anything about it, probably because she found it too awkward for words, so Captain just kept on doing it. He didn't realize it was a weird thing to do until one of the jocks in his class laughed at him. Now the only thing he chews on are food and gum. Number 4 was submitted by Searzella. One day in French class, Legna had to pair up with his crush for a role-playing exercise. They had to pretend that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, which made Legna super uncomfortable because he wanted her to be his actual girlfriend. While they were finishing up the exercise, Legna summoned up all his courage and asked his crush out in French. He was shaking with nerves, and sweat was dripping off him as he waited for her answer. Unfortunately, Legna's crush thought he was just asking as part of the exercise, so she laughed, shrugged, and walked out of the room. As Legna walked out alone, his teacher threw salt in his wound by saying, "Better luck next time," in French. Oh, poor Legna. I know exactly how you feel. Oh wait, no I don't. Number 3 was submitted by Kim Wu-Tang. Melissa had a crush on this quiet, mysterious guy at her school. Wasn't as handsome as me though. She tried talking to him a few times, but he hardly seemed to notice her. One night she got really drunk with her friends and started complaining about him. Her friends suggested it would be a really good idea to drunk contact him on social media. Melissa, in her drunken haze, was like,
That's a great idea.
so she invited her crush to a Facebook event called Make Out with Me. Seeing him at school on Monday morning was, well, kind of awkward. Number 2 was submitted by Benzo the Stranger. When Gergak was in 7th grade, he was crazy in love with the girl who sat behind him in class. He desperately wanted to ask her out, but he didn't know how or what to say. He decided to ask his older brother, who seemed to be really good with the ladies. Unfortunately, Gergak was so desperate that he forgot that his brother was an asshole who was always pranking him. He told Gergak that the best way to get a girl to like you is to compliment her breasts. So the next day, Gergak marched up to her after class and said, "Hey, your boobs make you look really sexy." All this got him was a slap in the face. But after a while, he apologized and explained that his stupid brother had given him bad advice. And now they're dating. So I guess being an awkward sleaze can work sometimes. And number 1 was submitted by me. One time when I was a young kid, I had a crush on a certain girl who I talked to often. One day I decided to man up and to give her a proper compliment on how beautiful and sweet she was. I said to her, "You, babe, you're as sweet as a chocolate log." Completely out of the blue. Right after saying it, I realized that I had literally and accidentally just said to her that she was as sweet as feces, but I guess she didn't realize what chocolate log was slang for because she just smiled and said thanks. I chuckled lightly, and we never dated. Turns out she didn't like me. Oh. Alright, so a huge thanks to the folks over at our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. But we have another question for you. What was the most romantic gesture your lover ever gave you? Let us know in the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown. This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thank you for the support, guys. Until next time. See ya!